Whether you're new to growing a channel on YouTube or if you are in the process of trying to grow and expand your channel and get more subscribers and more views, there's one key metric that you really need to understand, and that is audience retention. We're going to be diving into a couple ways that you can improve that, and my number one hack on how to really make sure that you increase your audience retention no matter where you are in the getting started path. There's a lot of analytics in the YouTube Studio beta that can be confusing if you're new to all of this, and even if you've been around for a while and you really don't understand what the metric means, and even if they give a definition, it's not exactly clear on how to make it better. Audience retention is one of those ways. Once you actually get them to click, this is the normal social behavior on YouTube. Once they click and they're seeing, they put something in search, they see that relevant search result, and they're looking at the titles, the thumbnails, and based on the interest level of your thumbnail, now they're clicking through. It's at this point when audience retention is the most critical. YouTube counts the intro as the first 30 seconds of your video. Most people will see about the middle length of the video, where are people watching, or at the end trying to get at least a goal of 50%, which is good. That means that of the people that click, at least half of them got to the end. So somewhere between 50, 70% and better is really the goal that you want to shoot for. But when it comes to the intro section, most people will see the 30-second mark and assume that you literally have the full 30 seconds, and you don't. The first tip that you want to know is that audience retention, yeah, it starts at 30 seconds when YouTube is counting it, but you really only have 5 to 8 seconds to fully grasp the attention of that person. If at that 30-second mark, you really aren't getting into the core content of why they clicked on the video, they're either going to skip and skip ahead, whether you use chapter titles or not, or they're going to decide this video isn't for me, hit the back button and leave. So this makes you look at your intros completely different than how you may have been looking at them. The first 30 seconds of your videos honestly needs to be a very curated, crafted intro. So think about the reason why somebody actually clicked on the video. One of the main things I love to do is really speak to the elephant in the room. So if I'm saying that this lapel microphone in particular, or in question, has been said to be good and some people are saying bad, and the reviews are kind of up and down around YouTube, it may be that this person is curious, is this really worth my money or not? So instead of going through all of this stuff of, hey, I've been testing it, I've been thinking about it, and all this other stuff, and blah, 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 nobody cares, I'm just going to start right at the meat of why they initially clicked on the video. So I literally will say what everyone is thinking, entering that conversation that your audience is already having in their mind. You may have been seeing on YouTube all of the reviews, and it's kind of up in the air and 50-50 whether this mic is good or bad. So I want to get into my review of me testing this at the People of Video event. Let's dive in. That's literally only a few seconds. It captures the gist of why they initially clicked on the video, and really at about 10, 11 seconds, if not sooner, we're off to the races of why they initially clicked on the video. Instead of me just figuring out what I want to talk about the first 30 seconds, instead of knowing what to talk about in the first 30 seconds. The third tip that I will give you when it comes to audience retention, and this is key, is looking at your audience retention graphs. All of the little bumps and dips actually mean something. If you see it pretty smooth and it's a continuous segment, that means you've retained that person's attention for that full segment. If you see spikes in your graph that you're looking at, then that means that they either went back to watch it or they're repeating watching that specific segment. Pro tip here, if you are using channel chapters and you notice large spikes of people specifically going to that point, or they're repeating to watch that point, that may be something that's good to make a YouTube short about, as well as silo out into its own dedicated video. The other metric that you'll see when it comes to retention is the dip. And this is the one that kind of hurts your feelings a little bit, because this means that people are skipping or they're kind of leaving the video. And this sucks because usually when you're starting that video in that intro segment, you'll see if you're getting down to 50% by 30 seconds, that's kind of a warning mark to me that we didn't do something right in the intro, and there's something to learn from that there. So if you're noticing that you're getting the 5% by the time people get to the end of the video, or maybe worse, or somewhere they're about there, we want to refine how we're maybe making our videos as a whole. The last metric that you'll see in this YouTube graph is a gradual decrease. Maybe they got their answer and they're leaving. As the video goes on, it's kind of losing the point or there's extra stuff that's in the video that literally doesn't need to be there. The key here is make your videos as long as they need to be and no longer. I learned this from Sean Cannell a long time ago, and it served me really well. Pro tip here, even if you notice that you're not making those bits to the cut for the final version of the video, that doesn't mean that that footage is just completely wasted. If that's really a good segment, a good tip, or a good piece of content, make that extra your Instagram story. Make that extra your YouTube story or your YouTube short, and you can really start to repurpose that content in a different way. We talk about this in my Mastering Micro course, but that's just a quick pro tip on how to save some of that footage that maybe didn't make it to the final cut. So if you're struggling with trying to figure all of this stuff out, I actually did a video where I break down some of the creative process and how I go through in creating content that will show you a little bit of behind the scenes in my Being a Creator series. Go ahead and click on the video on the screen. I think you'll get a ton of value out of it.